What's up, this is PKM and Gravager here doing a commentary over a battle submission from a subscriber slash follower to bulk up against. As it is with Cody, what's that name? He's Blaze 83, I'm pretty sure it's Blaze 83, or some variant of that, sorry, but definitely his in-game name is Cody, and he's in his battle submission he's facing off Balmung. I'd just like to say, if you can get these videos to about 5 likes, that'd be nice. I mean, 5 likes, that, you know, just to show your support to people that are submitting the videos to this channel. Get him 5 likes. I'll drop his Twitter, his YouTube down in the link below because he's nice enough to give us that, and you can have all credit for the submission, of course. But Cody is going to be bringing a Greninja. I wonder if that's a physical or special one. It might be mixed as well. Rhyperior, which Rhyperior is really fun. Blastoise, a Togekiss, an Infernape, and a Scizor. So I'm thinking there might be Blastoise or Infernape, not Infernape, or Scizor might be his Mega, one of those two. Both of them are really powerful. And his opponent Balmung is bringing a Blastoise, a Houndoom, a Garchomp. So first 3 of his Pokemon you can see there are all possible Megas. He's bringing a Motown, which is really normally bulky, and it's going to be really hard to break down. It might be his special wall because he has the Steelix there to take a lot of physical hits, and he has a Staraptor in there. I did watch the battle before, and I'm just kind of commentating it like I haven't seen it before to try and keep it fresh. But it looks like my my opponent. Sorry, it looks like Cody's opponent is going to be, I'd say he's probably going to lead off with the Steelix or the Straptor, and it looks like Cody's best bet is to lead off with his Greninja, so it does deal with both of those very easily, and since you know, you'll be able to tell whether the Straptor is scarfed or banded depending on whether it's going to swap out or not. So I'm going to hit play now, and we're going to get this battle started for everyone. And I really hate this darkness bit. But Balmung now is coming in and issuing the challenge against Cody. He is going to lead off with Staraptor, which so we're now going to find out very early. Cody's going to find out if it's choiced or banded. He's going to stay in the Greninja, and the Staraptor's moving out first, so that obviously means that it must be banded. Cody stays in with his Greninja, and he just goes for the safe Ice Beam, and he just have the Protein Greninja as well, which is really nice. It leads me to believe that this Motown is fit fat as well as specially defensive, because it takes that Ice Beam really well. I mean, even though Motown is really bulky anyway, I know a lot of special walls that don't take that, but it's nicely that does. He goes for the Toxic, either expecting a switch or just to pretty much get anything Toxic. This definitely seems like more of a kind of like Toxic Stally, Clericy kind of Motown, you know, with Toxic probably being its main real source of damage to the enemy team. He's going to swap out, of course, but fearing anything from this Rhyperior, of course, since he's obviously especially bulky, not physically. But the Rhyperior is going to use this time to set up rocks, as he's now Toxic, and it's kind of a ticking time bomb on him. And the Steelix is going to come in, and the Rhyperior actually has a really good matchup against Steelix, so he's going to go for the Earthquake. But you're going to see now that this Steelix is physically bulky, because that was a crit, and it did it's a 2-hit KO over crit, so that thing must really be very physically bulky. And I know Rhyperior is really physically bulky too, but I'm not too sure if Cody's invested. I know you can tell by the amount of HP he has max HP, but he might have max attack as well. But that Earthquake barely a 2-hit KO if you can crit it twice. But because he got the crit, the Steelix just sets up the rocks and he gets out. He's predicting another Earthquake, and he's just going to bring the Straptor here, and his opponent gets a prediction right with the Earthquake. So basically he's just kind of like burning these times now. You can see Toxic is just killing this Rhyperior. He's going to go for the U-turn. He probably expected to switch and want to get some initiative, but it's still doing very good damage because of course it's banded. But Rocky Helmet is going to come into play a little bit and weaken that Straptor down, so it's not really going to have many switches into rocks unless he can spin it off with his Blastoise. But he comes out into the Steelix, probably expecting his opponent to go for a Stone Edge, and Steelix can of course resist that as well as being very physically bulky. But Cody makes a good play and he goes for the neutral Ice Punch, though unfortunately it doesn't really do as much as I think he wanted it to do to the Steelix, and now his Rhyperior is going to go down to Toxic. And that must be really good for his opponent, because Rhyperior is a massive threat. It's really bulky, he's got solid rock, and it has a hell of an attack stat as well. So even though it's not really the fastest, it also does get speed set up. So He's going to go for the close combat since it's really his safe option. He doesn't have any ghost types. Close combat's really strong, and it's also going to mean that, you know, this mill tank can't come in on it, and with the thick fat as well, because I'm pretty sure a mill tank, even though it's especially bulky, with thick fat could take hits. And now he's going to bring in the Blastoise, I guess, wanting to rapid spin, and Cody has a really interesting set here with his Infernape, because I thought it might be Banded or it might be Choice Scarf, because that's a lot of common sets, or Life Orb, but I didn't see any Life Orb recall, and he does have the option to change his moves, so I'd really like to know what kind of item he's running on his Infernape. Because he gets the U-turner. I myself would have stayed in, kind of really expecting the rapid spin, as he now brings in his own Blastoise anyway on the very kind of obvious rapid spin from his opponent to get rid of those rocks. I mean, I would have stayed in and go for a close combat, but then again, Infernape is very key, as you'll see later on, as to actually, you know, how much damage you can do to his opponent, and you know how well he, you know, and how well he's gonna, you know, like really, actually win the battle. Sorry, so he's actually revealing now that he's the bulky, toxic and rapid spin, Scald and Protect set Blastoise. So his opponent's gonna go for the Dark Pulse, because this Blastoise is obviously very bulky. It's set up with his EVs and nothing like that. It's going to take that Dark Pulse really well, and since of course like a dude said, it is Protect and Toxic, Scald and Rapid Spin. If Cody wanted to now, he could of course go for the very obvious Protect, but knowing how well he took that Dark Pulse, and knowing that Steelix is now dead, Cody makes a very good play predicting a switch out, and just to go straight up for that Rapid Spin on the Miltank, and you know, just to get rid of rocks. No, rid of the rocks on his side of the field. Sorry. Miltank is going to show the Heal Bell now of his Clericy set. Blastoise is just going to stay in here. I think he goes for the Scald, and this damage pretty much confirms that Miltank must be specially bulky with the thick fat, because it does just about as much as Greninja did, but of course Greninja's ice hit was somewhat resisted from thick fat. So Scald, and he gets a burn. It's going to take him down to half, and he shows that he has the Citrus Berry, which is actually a really nice item to have on this Miltank at this point in time, because it means that he's not going to get forced to go into the Milk Drink on the next turn, and can Heal Bell off this burn right about now if he wants to. But instead, the Miltank makes the decision to go for the Toxic against the incoming Infernape. So this is going to really kind of like, you know, put another ticking time bomb in the Infernape, since it is a massive threat to his opponent's team. Unfortunately, Miltank isn't going to be able to stay in and go for a Heal Bell or a Milk Drink, because the close combat is very obvious. And Balmung is going to send in his Houndoom, which I'm not really sure what item this will be running. I guess he predicted the Flare Blitz from the Infernape, or tried to predict it to get a Flash Fly boost. But Infernape was always going to go for the safe kind of close combat, which OHKOs the incoming Houndoom. And he had the Mega Blastoise, so I'm not too sure what item his Houndoom had. I think Mega Houndoom's quite nice, but I really love the Blastoise in this gen. His opponent's now going to bring in the Garchomp, and fearing that this might be Scarf, judging by how it was brought in for the revenge kill, my opponent is going to make very good choices, swapping out to Togekiss, expecting an Earthquake or a Dragon type attack. But as you can see, he gets a Stone Edge crit, and I'm not too sure how his Togekiss's EV spread and stuff, but I'm pretty sure a Togekiss could survive a Stone Edge from a Garchomp if it was non-banded. So I think that's a choice banded Garchomp, just judging by how much that damage did to a Togekiss. I mean, they're normally quite bulky, and they can normally take 2 of those, even with a crit if it's just max HP. So the Stone Edge crit banded from the Stone Edge crit from the choice banded Garchomp comes into play, then completely wrecks the Togekiss. Although it was a very good prediction on his opponent's side of the field to predict the Togekiss to come in. And I'm kind of he's going to go for the Toxic now. I mean, I kind of like slept a few plays, but he just Milk Drink with the Miltank instead, and I think Cody there predicted the Heal Bell to come from the Miltank. That's why he went to go for the Toxic. Just trying to get Toxic on the Miltank, because of course Heal Bell has 8 PP and his Toxic should have 16, so he should be able to keep spamming Heal Bell, and he should be able to keep spamming Toxic and force this Miltank to go for Heal Bells on the team. As he switches out into the Infernape, this is going to threaten, of course, the the mill tank off that just wasted heal bell PP. And he's going to bring in a Garchomp, and this is going to take a close combat right to the face, and this, you can see, he knows now that this thing isn't scarfed. He must have known by how much the damage did from the Stone Edge to the Togekiss that this must be banded. Or it might be, no, I'm pretty sure it's banded just to the fact that it O-code the Togekiss. He must be having a bold one if the crit killed it, and he knows he can stay in and go for a second close combat on the Garchomp to kill it. I mean, unfortunately the rough skin, getting hit twice by the rough skin, as well as the toxic damage racking up, is going to mean that this Infernape is going to get to 14 HP. But fortunately, because he managed to rapid spin the rocks when Steelix is out, my opponent can, I keep saying my opponent, sorry, I'm so used to commentating over my own battles. Cody can now freely swap out into his Blastoise to take this very obvious quick choice banded quick attack from this Tractor, and he takes it very well, because Blastoise is a very underrated kind of like bulky kind of bulky Pokemon. I mean, a lot of people kind of just want to expect the Mega Blastoise in Gen 6, but normal Blastoise has very good defensive stats, so it can be a very good defensive kind of tank, especially or defensively, of course. And he just goes for the Scald on the incoming Miltank. He doesn't get a burn that time, and now the Miltank's just going to go freely for the Body Slam, praying for Power Hacks, but he actually gets the mishacks on the Toxic, which is really going to be unfortunate for Cody, because getting rid of this Miltank is really key, or getting a good swap into it is really key as to what he can do. He goes for the Protect because, like I said earlier, using Toxic Protect, Scald and Rapid Spin set. He just wants to get some more lefties back to a point where he can, he could take 3 more Body Slams from there. But seeing that the Miltank tried to Toxic him, he's going to test his luck and try to come into Infernape to take another Toxic. Judging by, I think he could take one time Toxic damage, but his opponent predicts that and just goes for the safe Body Slam, which is going to kill the Infernape, and that's a big threat out of the way. But it also gives Cody a free chance to bring in his Scizor now, and the Scizor is obviously going to threaten the Miltank out from about half HP, because it's especially defensive, most likely, judging by how much damage he's been doing with it by special attacks and how his physical attacks have always been forcing it out. So Cody's going to Mega Evolve his Scizor, and he predicts the switch, so he's going to go for the setup Sword Dance, as well as the fact that the Miltank can't touch it with Body Slam or Toxic. So he goes for the Sword Dance, and then he brings in his Blastoise, and he outspeeds, so I'm pretty sure this is a Jolly Scizor, because I think Blastoise is base 80 or something. But this is now confirmed by this next turn though, that he must be Jolly, because he outspeeds the Miltank, and Miltank is base 100, so if he was just Adamant, or he might be Adamant max speed, but I'm pretty sure it's Jolly, because Jolly Scizor wouldn't outspeed, Adamant Scizor with max speed wouldn't outspeed. But he goes now for the safe Bullet Punch. His opponent can't really go for a Quick Attack, so Quick Attack isn't going to kill. He tries to go for the Brave Bird, I'm sure, but the Bullet Punch finishes off this Raptor, and Cody gets a nice, is it Frio? Yeah, he still had the Greninja sitting in the back. His Blastoise is still around in the Scizor, so he gets a nice 3-0 over his opponent. It was a very stally kind of match in the middle. But I hope you like, comment, sub, and share to this video, and yeah, sub to the channel. That'd be great as well. As I'll leave Cody's stuff down, his links and stuff down below to his YouTube and his Twitter. So if you want to go check out his channel or his Twitter and give him a follow and stuff, that'd be great. Cody was a really nice guy. He's actually our first subscriber. That's why I wanted to get this out to you guys. I mean, first submission. I'm not too sure who our first subscriber is. I'd have to look into that, and I'm pretty sure that, when I find out, other than myself, I mean, I set up a channel to subscribe to it, but the first person other than myself was somewhere. I'll find out who it was, and I'll actually give them a kind of big thank you as well. But yeah, Cody was our first submission to the channel, and I wanted to get this out as soon as possible to you guys, so you can all see that this is happening. This is going to be a thing, and yeah, like, comment, sub, and share, because we'll see you guys all next time for another Pokemon submission. Bye.